Hi. Happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving today. I'm going to be doing free readings today, so there probably will be a little bit of a turnout for this live stream. If you're watching this in the future, hi, my name is Marco, and I'm a tarot card reader / mystic here on YouTube. If you would ever like a private reading with me, please let me know. My email is in the description box of this video, and I promise I will check that email account more often. I will never contact you. I don't solicit myself like that to other people. So if someone is saying they're me and they're contacting you, telling you that they have a reading for you, it's really not me. I don't think I've ever once done that in my whole life. In all the years I've been reading tarot cards, I have never approached somebody like that. Ever. Anyway, so I'm going to do some readings today. Got my cocktail. It's Thanksgiving. My dad is coming over in probably a couple hours, maybe 2.5 hours. He's going to be here, and we're going to eat together. But in the meantime, let's get spooky, and let's see what comes through in the cards and what information I can get. And in a perfect world, maybe I'll even make $1 or $2. Okay, but anyway, so yeah, it's Thanksgiving today. I actually cooked all my food last night. Oh, and if you don't live in the United States, if you don't know what Thanksgiving is, it's a holiday. Happens once every November. And families and friends get together and they cook a big meal, with the main dish usually being roasted turkey. I don't know what the origins of that holiday are. Something about pilgrims and Native Americans. I don't know. That sounds fishy to me at this point in my life. I mean, the whole pilgrim Native American thing. I mean, come on. I don't think that's what the origin of that holiday is, but that's what they say. That's the story that we are all fed growing up. Highly doubt it, but there's a part of me that considers maybe that could be the case, but I don't think so. But I don't care. I like Thanksgiving. You know, the days are special. The days are special because we make them special. So I love most holidays because it's an excuse for people to get together and have a good time. And I'm kind of corny like that anyway. You know, I love Christmas trees. I love Christmas decorations and Thanksgiving and all the traditional stuff that goes into it. I'm really corny in that way, but whatever. Let me shuffle my cards. Oh, I have to light my candle. My psychic ability candle. Anyway, just going to shuffle these up a little bit. Okay. All right. Got my book of words, my magic words in front of me to help me have a little bit more confidence in what I'm doing. And yeah, gonna light some incense. Why not? I haven't lit any incense in a few hours. I'm gonna do this one. Hi, Veronica. Hello. All right, we have a question in the chat. Give me 1 second. Let me just light this. Get some energy going. Get some energy flowing. All right. Does L Mom and N try to stop our connection? Okay. Okay. I'm not getting a clear picture of this in my head, but I have a vague idea. But you know, Veronica, I understand that there is some friction here because with this card in reverse, I see this as being friction between people. This is what I'll say to you. So I think as of right now, there's nothing that you really have to worry about. I do see a little bit of a problem on the way. But there is a conflict coming, but and it does stem from the people that you're asking about. But it's not as if it's some planned out thing. It's not like anyone's conspiring right now. I do think that the conflict between people and the friction is going to lead to some kind of event that might not be that pleasant. But it's not as if it was some well planned out thing. It was just sort of it's just unfortunate. It's the whole circumstance is just unfortunate. I'm just trying to say to you that I hope it makes you feel better to know that there's nobody right now that's evil. No one in this situation is evil, but it's just people that maybe just don't. It's like people that are like oil and water. Some people just don't go together, not because anyone's a bad person, but because sometimes that's just how it is, right? Anyway, that's what I'll say to you. But like I said, there is something coming with these people in the whole thing. But just know in your heart that it wasn't some kind of well planned out thing. Like, have you ever read the book A Series of Unfortunate Events? Not that I even know what that book is about, but I'm assuming based on the title, it's about, you know. It's no one's. This wasn't some. It's not some plan. It's not. No one has a vendetta, but it will reach some kind of event. Hi, Pretty in Pink. What's up? How you doing? Okay, is B using the third party as a distraction and try to make me jealous? Okay. No. Pretty in Pink. I think you have the wrong idea about this person. You know, I think that the person you're asking about actually is a pretty decent person. I don't think that he or she would do something like that or anything nefarious. I don't think it's in that person's nature. In fact, I think in that person's nature is to be kind of more on the quiet side and doesn't exactly like to be the center of attention. I think B is a decent person And I think whatever this is that's bothering you, I would just let it go. And I think you should have maybe a little bit more faith in whoever you're asking about, because there's no card here that suggests any kind of evil or really dark energy like that. All right. I would just say let it go. And I think you'll find that this person's behavior in the future is pretty kosher. All right. Hi, B. What's up? How does G feel about me calling him today? By the way, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. If you celebrate that holiday, hope you're having a good one so far. Okay, so B has a question. Every time I see that name, I think about B. Arthur. I loved B. Arthur when she was alive. She was my favorite Golden Girl. Of course, everyone's favorite Golden Girl is usually Dorothy. Dorothy was hysterical. Anyway, so sorry. Do you guys remember that episode of The Golden Girls where Dorothy literally was trying to poison her own mother with a cup of tea? It was like, and we're supposed to just brush that under the rug, like that never happened. Like, it was so funny. Anyway, so B's question, how does G feel about me calling him today? Let's see what comes up. Okay. All right. Well, I think G, I see very good energy here. So, B, I mean, the way I see it is I'm assuming that when you did call him, it was a pleasant conversation. It was good energy, right? Because I think if this is the way he feels about the conversation, then I'm assuming the way he responded to you probably follows suits with this. Followed suit with this. But I think he's happy that you called him. And especially when you called him, I think it was a good moment for you to call him, because there is a card here about being appreciative of someone offering some kind of helping hand. But when I say helping hand, it could be like whatever, money or, and there is something here about money in this poll, but even just, sometimes the most helpful thing a person can do for another person is just reaching out and having a conversation. But anyway, to answer your question, I think he was quite happy that you called him. I mean, you say that he didn't talk, he stayed silent, but I see nothing but good energy here. I mean, I don't see, these are all minor cards, but they all are still good cards in good positions. So I think it's good. He's definitely, he doesn't regret the fact that he picked up the phone. Okay. Hi, Stola. What's up? Antoinette. Oh, your name's Antoinette. Hi, Antoinette. Does Derek have any regrets that he walked away from our relationship? Oh, yikes. Okay. Let's see what comes up in the cards. So Antoinette, let's see what comes up. Does Derek have any regrets that he walked away from our relationship? So Antoinette, I think he does have regrets because there are cards here about because what you asked me was, does he have regrets that he walked away? And I do see more so than anything else, I see negative energy. And I would associate these cards with regret. Maybe there's a part of him that feels bad that he didn't try as hard. Because I think part of this is that he didn't try very hard to make it even work. There were problems that he didn't even put close to enough effort into solving the problems. The only thing he doesn't regret about it is something about money. I don't know if that's some kind of job opportunity or there was some other pathway to money that he only was able to get by walking away from you. I mean, it's not necessarily money, but typically when this card comes up, that's what it's about. And something like that. Anyway, but I do think he has regrets about it. Mostly. Most of what he feels is, I would say, regret. Maybe doubting his decision. The only reason he thinks he made the right choice has something to do with money or some kind of the gaining of some kind of physical thing. Okay. Anyway, so there's a question here somewhere. Oh, Mark. Hi, Mark. Oh, we almost have the same name. Anything good financially? Okay, let me see what comes up. So your focus is on finances. Let me see. Finances. Let's see if I can give you a message about finances. Okay, if this card comes up one more time, I'm going to flip out. This card is coming up so much today. So, Mark, this is what I'm feeling. So I think I don't see much changing in your finances, and I'm assuming right now your finances are not very good, or at least they could be way better. Even just even what you would consider the bare minimum of what you want to be making, you're still not even making that. I think you need to be more willing to work with other people and jobs that maybe involve being a little bit more collaborative when you really have to converse with other people, because I think that's a big part of the problem here is that you hate having to work with others. And I get it because I don't know, sometimes people can be shockingly stupid And then if you're forced to work with them on such a close basis, then stupid people can really be a hindrance to what your obligation is, what you actually have to get done in the whole in the whole thing. Because there's definitely 2 out of the 3 cards here are about I see when they're coming up next to each other. It's my way of focusing in on the fact that this has something to do with you having to work with other people. And maybe it's just something you're meant to do for now. I'm not sure, but and I also get the sense that you're kind of desperate for ways to make money that are easy. And which, I mean, of course, everybody wants that. But there are jobs that are very, very easy where you can make very good money. Just do some digging and find out how to do that for yourself. I mean, that just goes without saying, though. I mean, there are some freaks in nature who love working really hard and who just love the grind and who love exerting their muscles. I'm not one of those people. And I would say most people are not that way. Anyway. So Sophie, hi Sophie, what's up? Raj, current feelings for me, months no contact. Thank you. Well, you're welcome in advance. I'm good, thank you. How are you? Today's a big day in the United States. It's Thanksgiving. I got some company coming over in a couple hours, and we're gonna eat together. Feasting day in my country. All right. So Raj, current feelings for Sophie. Okay. The deck just felt really weird to me. My deck just tensed up. That was the weirdest thing. So Sophie, this is a very powerful reading. The feelings here are very strong. So I don't know how you know this person. You say you're in no contact. I hear that. I feel like when you were in contact with this person, it was a deep-rooted connection that you had with this person, because I will say, I don't think Raj is a big fan of you, and also feels as though that he did all the right things. Just know that. He does not think he's wrong about anything that happened. There is a question of right and wrong and who was right and who was wrong. He feels like he was right about everything. So keep that in mind. But I mean, I will say there's nothing here about dark hatred, or there's nothing like, there's nothing about hatred. So I don't think he hates you, but he's certainly not a fan. There's still hurt feelings here. He feels hurt. The thought of you brings up feelings of hurt in him. But he does think that he's okay. You say he's your ex. And there's something here about like with the magician in reverse, I think that an aspect of why I guess you must have broken up, or the energy leading up to that, it's like he feels as though there's nothing he could have done about it. Whatever the situation was, you don't have to tell me, but he feels like he didn't have the power to make the situation any different. And it's sort of like when someone's telling you to make a change and make a change and make a change, and you just don't have the power to actually make that change, it can be a little frustrating because it's like people want you to do this and do this and do this. But if you literally are unable to do it, then you just can't do it. But anyway, so that's also an aspect of how he felt about it, or how he feels about it. Anyway. Hi, Aniket. What's up? So Aniket wants to know about the boss's feelings for him or her. All right, Darshit. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you too. Him. All right. If I get the Three of Pentacles again, I'm gonna fucking scream. Okay. Some days, just some cards come up a lot more than others. Maybe it's a cosmic thing. I don't know. So, Aniket, your boss doesn't hate you. The sense I get from these cards is that your boss is a little bit disappointed in you, and wishes that you could be more consistent. But there's nothing here about any kind of dark hatred or any kind of evil will. Okay. I think your boss must be a pretty decent person, a nice, decent human being. But anyway. All right. Okay. Hi, Sarah. May I ask what will happen between me and A in the future? It's romantic. All right. Let me see what comes up. Sarah. You don't see that name spelled that way that often. There's almost always an H at the end of it. Not always, but usually. So, what will happen between me and A in the future? Sarah and A. I'm almost caught up. Bada bing. Bada boom. And All right. Well, okay. Sarah. I really don't see this going anywhere. And like, I'm not saying it's going to end badly. It's just sort of going to go nowhere. So I'm assuming that wherever you are in the relationship as of now, it must not even be much of anything right now anyway. Although I do sense, and I do hope I'm wrong about this, obviously, because this doesn't seem to be good news for you. But I see you being very disappointed in this because you were really, I think, hoping for this one to work out. I'm assuming he or she must be very good looking, and from afar, it must seem pretty promising. Whether it's their looks or their looks and their job and their finances and stuff. But I just see this never moving forward, kind of fizzling out before it even begins. Never seeming to get more serious. And anyway, these are the cards I got. I haven't really been showing off the cards today, but I say it's not going to move forward because I have the Chariot in reverse. Just kind of something that never seems to get serious or lead anywhere. All right. Montaigne. What's up, Montaigne? Welcome back. Will I be quitting my job on my own terms? So, Montaigne, I don't think it's going to be on your own terms. And I just say that because overall, this reading looks pretty negative and unpleasant. So, I think that the way your job will end is going to feel unpleasant to you. Which, in my mind, that must mean it can't be on your own terms, because if it was on your own terms, then it would be a much more pleasant process. But the fact that the reading is looking like this, and you know what's funny? I think it's going to be two things at the same time. It's going to be it's going to feel unpleasant, but also very anticlimactic. Okay. Anyway. Hi, Wildflower. Will I meet some people tomorrow? Could you describe the energy? All right, Wildflower. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, if you celebrate that. If it is your culture. Okay. Will I meet some people tomorrow? Could you describe the energy? Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Wildflower, I'm going to give you a reading in 2 seconds. Just give me a minute. And we're back. Let me just check something real quick. Right. So Wildflower, Wildflower, I think so. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow. And don't tell me, by the way. Wait, or if you want to tell me, just wait a few minutes. I don't know what you're doing tomorrow. I don't know where you're going or what the situation will be. I don't think you're really going to meet anybody. I do see you getting something out of it. I think that you will benefit from it. I don't think it's going to necessarily be in terms of meeting people, but there is something else to be gained. And something tells me that you tend to not like crowds anyway, right? Like you're not someone who really enjoys, you feel on edge when you're meeting new people. And because I think you're a little too hard on yourself and you judge yourself too much. You compare yourself to others too much, and then it kind of kills your own joy. And also, I think you have some confidence issues. Nobody is perfect. No one's perfect. And you're doing the best you can. And you obviously want good things for yourself. And, we all have different destinies in life. And don't compare yourself to Elon Musk or whatever, the highest of the highest people. You don't have to compare yourself to all these people. Anyway, overall, I think the experience of tomorrow is going to be sort of unpleasant for the most part. Not unbearable, but it will be unpleasant. But I do think you're going to get something out of it. And it's going to be something actually pretty good that you're going to get out of it. I can't tell exactly what it is, but anyway, there will be something gained after tomorrow. All right. Hi, Chrissy. What's up? All right. Chrissy wants to know what's coming towards me in love. Okay. Alrighty, Chrissy. Chrissy. You know, so Chrissy, I see some good energy coming in terms of love. I think this is someone that you're going to meet at work, whether it's a worker, a coworker, or maybe a customer. I definitely think, I'm assuming you have a job because I can see cards here that are telling me about work. And I think it's going to be a pretty good relationship. This person that you're going to meet is extremely outgoing and kind of, you know, like, have you ever heard someone say like, oh, she's a lot or he's a lot? Not necessarily in a bad way, but maybe even in a good way. But that person is a lot. I think this person is a lot, but in a good way. And a little piece of advice, don't ever date a boss. I'm not sure why I'm saying that to you, but that message keeps coming up in my mind, especially with there's a certain card here. I'm I don't know if that's something you would ever do, but I think that's a bad idea. And if it's not that message in particular, then it's the message, whoever you're going to meet, I see an issue with your father. Like your father is going to have a real problem with whoever you're dating. You have to make your own mistakes. You can't always please everybody. So, if you do end a relationship, end it because you know it's the right thing to do and you want to do that for yourself, not because your dad is telling you that he doesn't like your partner, or not because anyone else doesn't like him, but because you don't like him. All right? Alrighty. Alrighty. Hi, Malika. Hi. So Malika has a question. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, if you celebrate that. Today's Thanksgiving. What are M's intentions towards me? All right. Let's see what comes up. I think I'm going to stay live for maybe another 15 or so minutes, and then I think I might end the stream for now. Fascinating. So Malika, I have a couple cards here that suggest to me that this is a romantic connection, right? This person M. Like, this isn't your sister, this isn't your cousin, this isn't your friend, this is a romantic person. Now, I don't get a good sense from these cards. You know, I don't think this person hates you. I don't think this person is, I don't think that this person is scheming and scamming. But, I guess all I can say is that this person that you're asking about, you know, all I can say, I'm just saying, it's unclear to me, right? It's a little unclear to me. But all I can say is that this person's intentions, where this person is coming from in terms of you, it's not what you would hope for. That's all I can say. All I can say is that it's not what you, Malika, it's not what you are hoping for. This reading is not in your favor. His intentions towards you are not, it's not that they're not in your favor, but it's not what you're hoping for. There's a little bit of a difference there. All right. But, you know, see where it goes. Do what you can on your end. See what happens. And, you know, if things happen that you just can't tolerate, then move on. Well, the sense I got was that, Malika, the sense that I got, there was a couple of cards there about putting an effort into what you're doing. So, you know, I think he probably is open to maybe a sexual type of relationship. But in terms of actually being in a relationship, like with something that's exclusive and where it would take a lot of effort for him, I don't think that's something he wants to do. But I could be wrong. I could always be wrong. I have no clue when I'm right or if I'm right. But if that comes true, then a tarot card reader did tell you so. And it's like, on the one hand, this relationship thing isn't working out. But on the other hand, I kind of believe in God a little bit more now that I got this information from a tarot card reader. Funny how that works together. All right. Hi, Fire Mage. Welcome back. How you doing? Good. Glad you're okay. How is everyone? I know Joe's doing okay, but how's everybody else doing? Are we all having a good holiday? Or is it just another day for you? Hi, Miss Vanu. Yeah, if you want, just drop your question in the chat. I am doing free readings today for everybody. Any hoosers. My roses haven't been lasting very long. I have a rose bush outside, and I like to cut them off and put them in vases in my apartment. And I think it's because it's a lot colder out now. So for some reason, when the roses do finally bloom on the bush and I take them in, they only last for like a day and a half. Usually they last at least like 5 days or a week, but now they hardly last any time at all. Okay. Hi, Patricia. 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 What did I just call you, Patricia? Yeah, hi, Patricia. What's up? Anyway, so can I get a spread on Scorpio's current feelings towards me? All right, let me see what comes up. Patricia, yeah. I used to work with a girl named Patricia. I haven't seen her in ages. She was a fucking funny woman. She was hysterical. Okay. So, Patricia, I know that when it comes to the Scorpio, things are very unclear right now. Because I see good and bad energy. I think that things have gone wrong and things have gone right. Um, I mean, I think the way the Scorpio feels about you is a little mixed. Um, I do see something here about having some hurt feelings and doubts. Oh, my alarm's going off. But and I do sense that this is romantic, right? The person that you're asking about is maybe um an ex-lover, maybe. I'm assuming it's an ex-lover. Um because I see that things did go wrong, and that typically, it's so funny. People just tend to walk away from it as soon as things get bad. People never look outside of themselves to maybe try to work on things. But okay, you say I'm correct. So if this is an ex-boyfriend of yours, I would say there actually is a chance that there's possibility for maybe something to rekindle. But my advice is just take it slow and try not to be so serious about it going forward. It sounds counterintuitive, but I actually think that would better your chances of um, of things working out. I feel like 99% of the time when people get in fights, it's because one or both people are taking some topic way too seriously. All right. All right. Anyway, that's your reading. So I think he kind of has mixed feelings about you. It's good and bad. I'll be right back. My phone's going off. Oh, sorry, I'm zoning out. I got an email. Let me just see what that is. Make sure, just in case it's a donation. I want to see what it says. No, it's nothing. Anyway, so I have another question. Will I be staying in the bakery department? Oh, yikes. I worked in the bakery department of a grocery store for a very short period of time, and I hated it. It was the most impractical setup that they had there. It was awful. So it makes you wonder, because it's just like somebody designed this space. And it's like, it frustrates me because you're designing a space to be heavily worked in. Wouldn't it cross at least one or two brain cells in your head to try to make it as functioning as possible, as functionable as possible? But the bakery department that I worked in, I mean, the freezer situation, the way it was laid out, just it was so impractical and so stupid, and just made the people's lives very hard who had to work in that department, including my life. It's awful. It's not even the job I friggin' applied for. I was working in the produce department, which I actually really liked for the most part. I liked that energy, but then they transferred me. Rat bastards. They can all suck it. Okay, so Mani, will you be staying in the bakery department? Let's see what comes up. Very interesting question. And you know why I think they got rid of me in produce and put me in the bakery? And I think the reason they did that is, I mean, I'm not sure. I think it's because I was throwing away too much produce. But I mean, what do you want from me? This apple has like 7 dents in it. Of course I'm going to throw it away. We can't sell that. Like, what the fuck? But anyway. You know, Monty, I think you will be staying in the bakery department, but I don't know. This reading is like rubbing me the wrong way. And I don't know why. I mean, it actually sways positive. So, I mean, what I mean by that is overall, the reading is actually pretty positive. If you just read into it in like a more scientific way, but I'm being tickled like in my heart, and something about this is bothering me. So, I guess I just get the sense that this isn't what you're meant to be doing. And I mean, it's good for now, and it was good when it was good. I think moving forward, it's going to be a little unpleasant to work in the bakery department. Um, it's not going to feel right. Your heart is being called to other things. Uh, I don't know. Anyway, I mean, this just doesn't feel right to me. I think you are going to stay there, but my advice to you is look for something else, even if you have to change locations completely, or pursue a completely new, um, or a completely new um, avenue of making money. But anyway, does energy change? Listen, people always ask me like deep questions like this. I really don't know. I have no idea. I mean, truly, that's just an honest answer from me. I really don't know. I mean, I have a lot of ideas in my head. I have a lot of ideas. There's a lot of information in my head, but I don't know what is gospel and what's not. Do you know what I mean? I mean, in my mind, energy certainly flows, and everything is always on the move. Everything is always changing. Even a wall that's stationary, it looks like a wall. It looks like it's not moving, but it's actually like vibrating in a way. Um, Flow and change is the nature of everything. Everything's always on the move. So, I mean, I imagine that energy does change, but um, I really don't know. I'm not God. I don't know everything. In fact, I know basically nothing. I have a lot of ideas, but that's all they are. It's just ideas. I don't know anything. I don't think there's a single thing in this world that I know for sure. So Miss Vanu has a reading. What should be my next move's advice? Okay, that's a very interesting question. Um, really curious what's going to come up. So Miss Vanu, the sense I'm getting from this reading is that as of right now, you actually are doing all the right things. I think you're a pretty stand-up person, and you do have like a moral compass. So as long as a person has that, chances are they're going to make a lot of right moves in life. I think the biggest thing with you is don't put any pressure on yourself. You don't have to make any big moves right now or even little moves. Just you're a good person. Enjoy your life as much as you can, and within reason. Um, and just remember, not everything is good and not everything is bad. Um, just because a bad thing happens doesn't mean life itself is bad. Just because a good thing happens doesn't mean that everything that always happens to you every moment of every day is wonderful and perfect and good. I'm not even sure you would want it to be that way if you actually were the puppeteer up above, like controlling your own life. So I just would not, I just don't put any pressure on yourself. I think that everything's going to fall into place in time. But I just feel drawn to just say to you, I don't think I'm meant to really tell you anything you should be doing right now, because I think you're sort of already on the right track. I think the main problem with you is some moves that you should make. It's the only moves that you have to make. It's not so much about external stuff. It's more internal stuff. Even though, like I said, I think you are a pretty decent person. Like you have morals, you have morality. But I do get the sense, with that being said, that you're kind of thinking about things in the wrong way, or at least the wrong way for you. Everyone's different. Not everyone is meant to think the same way. Not everybody benefits from thinking in the same way. But I think for you, I just think you're on the wrong track in terms of your perceptions and the way you process events and experiences. Alrighty. Well, my dad should be here in about an hour, and we're gonna eat some good food. You know, I cooked a turkey yesterday. All of my Thanksgiving food I cooked yesterday, except the gravy. The gravy I made this morning. That only takes like 5 minutes or so to make. That was just an easy thing to throw together. I always make my own gravy now. I used to, when I did buy gravy, I used to get it in those little packets, like the powder that you just mix with water and then it becomes gravy. But now I kind of make it more sort of from scratch. There's definitely a few moves in there that are cheating moves. I definitely cheat a little bit, but it's still basically from scratch. It's fun to make, though. I like making gravy. Oh, anyway, what I wanted to say was my turkey came out good. Well, I mean, I haven't eaten any of it yet, so it might be shitty. But I baked the turkey for like 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I took it out, took the temperature. It was well above the right temperature. So I let it sit for 20 minutes, and then I carved it. I took as much meat off of it as I could, and then I put that all in the fridge, and the rest of it I just threw away. Um, but when I carved it, it was like really moist. I mean, it's probably going to taste perfectly fine. I mean, how could you fuck that up? I mean, there was nothing wrong with the turkey itself. What I did was I mixed sage powder and thyme into mayonnaise, and then I rubbed that mayonnaise all over the outside of the turkey and then baked it for a couple hours. So I feel like mayonnaise gets a bad rap, and I'm guilty of that too. Like the thought of mayonnaise, this is so fucked up, and I admit that there's something wrong with me. The thought of mayonnaise really grosses me out, but I actually do use mayonnaise to make certain things. Like if I want to make a tuna fish sandwich, or um, I use it to bake chicken sometimes, or for pasta salad, or I should say macaroni salad. Um, I do actually use it for like recipes and stuff, but for some reason the thought of it just like skeeves me out. It's not ketchup, not mustard. It's just mayonnaise. That condiment just makes my skin crawl for some reason. It's crazy. There was this movie that came out when I was a kid. It was a spoof movie, so it was like, you know, those movies that are just beyond goofy. And um, I remember in this one movie they spoofed probably like 10 or so other movies. And I can't remember what it was called, but the star in that movie was the same girl that played Willow in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, like the redheaded witchy girl in that show. She was the main character, and I mean, spoof movies are so ridiculous, but there was this one scene where she was with a straw, she was drinking mayonnaise out of this gigantic vat of it. And that's like one of the things I always think about when I think about mayonnaise, and it just yeah, 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 yeah. I can't for the life of me remember what that was called. Yeah, the girl that played Willow in Buffy, she was in this movie, and in the beginning of the movie, she was like a really heavy girl with like a big like a lot of body fat, and then they like it was funny because she went into a body shop like for cars, and all of the mechanics gave her a makeover. And so she starts out pretty homely looking, but then she goes into a body shop. It's so ridiculous. And then all of the mechanics are like doing all this stuff to her, and then she comes out super hot. So just ridiculous, but that was funny. I can't for the life of me remember what that was called. Um, Hi, D. So I have a question. I had a car that was towed 3 weeks ago. Are they coming after me for it in December, or is it over? Okay, so you had some kind of trouble with a car and you're wondering if it's going to haunt you in the future. Okay. That's what you're focused in on. All right. So D, I do think that this is going to come back and bite you in the ass. But with that being said, it's not that bad. I think so. You say your car was towed, and I've never really owned a car, and I don't really know much about what goes into that. So I don't really know what you're worried about. I do think you do have something to be worried about because I do see that something bad is coming in terms of the car. But with that being said, it's nothing that you cannot handle, and it's really not as bad as it might feel at first. Um, it's nothing that you can't overcome. And all I'm saying is that when this does haunt you in the future, just remember to check in with yourself and remind yourself that this is not as bad as I'm making it out to be. All right. This is not the end of the world, and it's not that bad of a situation. All right. Alrighty then. All right, I'm going to be right back. I am going to go make myself another cocktail, and I'm going to use the bathroom. So I'll only be gone for like a minute or two. It's not as if I have to go to the east wing of the mansion to get to the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? I live in a little apartment. Um, Hi. I'm having fun. I'm glad I did this today. I'm going to be honest, I was kind of on the fence about it. Part of me wanted to do this and another part of me didn't. But I'm very glad I did it. And it's fun, we get together, get spooky with it, and, you know. So, yeah. Last night I made potatoes. I didn't make mashed potatoes because I'm lazy, basically. You know what's funny about me? I love cooking just as long as it's not anything too difficult. I mean, if there's a few steps that I have to follow, that's wonderful. But like mashed potatoes, the thing about that is typically you have to peel the potatoes and then you have to cut them up and then boil them and then mash them and do all this stuff. If I ever eat mashed potatoes, it's just made from like the instant mashed potatoes, like the flakes. I love being in the kitchen. I love cooking and I love throwing stuff together. But I hate things that are like, I don't want it to be too difficult or um, I just kind of want to feel like I'm cooking, but just make it as easy for myself as possible at the same time. I mean, sometimes I actually like a little bit of a degree of difficulty, but just a little bit. That's the way I like it. Hi, Anna. I'm all right. How are you? I'm having a decent day so far. I mean, it's been a little up and down, but you know what? All I can say is right now in this moment, I feel pretty decent. Maybe not perfect, but decent. I feel like my name should be decent. My life is decent. I look decent. Everything about me and my life is just decent. It's not great. It's not horrible. It's just decent. If I was a rapper, my rapper name would be Decent. The way I sing is decent. It's like everything. So funny. My cooking skills are decent. Everything's just decent. My apartment is pretty decent. Um, Although actually, I think my apartment. I love living alone. I mean, that's like it's so funny that I say that because most people are like, that's so like secondary in their minds, just having a place to live. But I spent so many years of my life living in fucked up places and to finally have my own space to live in where I can live alone. And it's not like my apartment isn't like a complete shoebox. It's actually a decent sized apartment for one person. It's actually like the best thing that ever happened to me. But I love living alone. I mean, the way that I have my apartment is a little fucked up. The way this all came to me is kind of bizarre, but what else do I expect? Just the whole pathway that led to this living situation is so weird, if you ask me, but hey, that's what happened. K for sight, hi. What's in my energy for December? All right, let me see what comes up. I love December. It's when Christmas is, it's when the weather is really starting to get cold, and I mean, it starts getting cold in like late October, but I love December. The holiday music and the get-togethers and everything. What's your favorite month of the year? I would say my favorite month is probably, you know, I don't know. My favorite month, it would have to be a winter month. I love the winter months. I just love the snow so much. I am obsessed with snow. So I guess my favorite month would probably be January. I love January. I mean, January doesn't have like the same appeal as December, because in December you have all the decorations and the music and the festivities. January doesn't have that, but there's a higher likelihood that it's going to snow out in January, and it is a colder month, so I would probably gravitate more towards January, but December is definitely my second favorite month. And my third favorite month is April, because that's when my birthday is. And then after that, it's probably October, because October is kind of witchy. Anyway, how long have I been shuffling these cards? Okay, that's enough. So you want to know about what's the energy going to be like in December? Oh my God. Um, You know what? K for sight. I'm going to sort of answer your question in a backwards way. I just want to say that in December, just remember that there are people that have your back. At the very least, you have your own back. There's you know for sure that there's one person that wants good things for you, and that's you. But But besides yourself, there are other people that want good things for you, whether you realize it or not, or if you even have met them yet. There does exist good in the world, and there's also evil, but there's also spirits that are very good and positive energy. So I'm not going to tell you, I don't think I've ever said this before. I'm not going to tell you what cards I pulled, but all I'm going to say is, I mean, I do think December might be a little challenging. Okay. It's going to be a challenge, but make as many connections as you can with other people. And if you need to vent to somebody, vent to somebody. You know, and just because one person, never mind, but whatever. That's all I'm going to say. There is good in the world. There are people with really good hearts. And, you know, there are people, you know, if they make a mistake, some people are very hard on themselves when they make a mistake. Because there are some people that so deeply just want to be good, decent people. And if they make a mistake or if they fuck up, then they're really hard on themselves because they wish they could have been better. There are many people that are like that. So, you know, if one person does something bad to you, don't start thinking, you know, don't let one bad person make you feel isolated, like the whole world is against you. The whole world is not against you. There are many good people in the world. Just because, what's the expression? Don't let one bad apple spoil the whole bunch for you. Okay? Some people are evil to their core, to the deepest parts of their brains, their spirits, their hearts. They're bad people. But with that being said, there are many, many people that are also, there are many, many people that are good. Really, really good. So, anyway. And you're welcome, by the way. Dee, happy Thanksgiving to you too. I'm excited. I have some company coming over soon and we're going to eat some food together. I think it should be fine. I cooked everything last night and I'm going to heat it all up today. I'm hoping it all heats up okay in the microwave. I suppose I could put it in the oven. But, yeah, Miss Vanu, I already did your reading, but let me just see what the question was. And I can, oh. Yeah, Miss Vanu, I would just go back and watch what I said because I said a whole spiel for you. And if it helps you, I think I did your reading about probably about 20 minutes ago. So right now we're at an hour and 37 minutes. So it was probably around an hour and 15 minutes that I did your reading. So if you do want to watch it back, just go to around an hour and 15, and then it should be sometime shortly after that. Oh, I hope I'm right about that, because if God forbid it was moments earlier, then I don't want to, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure, I think it was like around 20 minutes ago that I did that. Okay, well, I'm going to go now. I'm going to tidy up a little bit. There's a few things that I want to wash and clean before my dad gets here. And I'm happy because I said I was going to go live today and do some free readings, which I did. So I done did the thing. So I'm going to go now. Thank you all for coming. And if you're watching this in the future, I hope that you had a really amazing Thanksgiving if you're in the States. And if you live in a different country, I hope you just had a good day. Okay. Bye.